everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Positive Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Today I am going to talk about some of the books that I'm interested in reading for Smut Den, a pile of possibilities, if you will. Okay, so I asked my patrons if they wanted to see a recommendations video or a pile of possibilities video for Smut Den, and they resoundingly said that they wanted pile of possibilities. So here we are today. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I am one of the co-hosts for 72 Hours in the Smut Den, which is happening May 25th through 28th, and it's essentially 72 hours of reading smut, and we'll be doing tons of live sprints and things like that. So the idea is to read as many smutty books as we can and just have a good time. So I have some books that I want to talk to you about today. Essentially what we're going to be doing is going over my Kindle Unlimited list today. Maybe you'll find some books that you're interested in as well, and we'll just go from there. So the first novella that I'm really excited about is Treble by Rilzy Adams. This is a book that was talked about a lot during Rom-Com-a-thon. I don't know if it's more light wheel or dark wheel. I don't really know, but everyone was reading this during Rom-Com-a-thon, so I put it on my Kindle Unlimited, but then haven't touched it since. It's only 116 pages, so definitely one that I could read during Smut Den pretty easily. This book is steamy, it's poly, and like I said, I heard a ton of really good things about it during Rom-Com-a-thon sprints, so it's one that I've got my eye on. Tegan Wells is an author that I have read from before. It is a pseudonym for an author. I've read the first book that she has written in this kind of like series. It's not a series, it's like a bunch of standalones together. They're all very short, they're under 100 pages. I've read Submit to Him, and then she has 3 other ones. Love Ablaze is a firefighter romance, and there's some anxiety rep in there. It's spicy, it's steamy. Tegan's smut is like top tier, wonderful. And then we have Sharing Sherri, that's a hard word to say, which I believe is poly, MFM and MMF, so that'll be a fun time. That one sits at like 86 pages, and then her newest one that just came out is Waiting for Him, which I think is only 50 pages, and this is a boss employee romance, if I remember correctly. The covers, very steamy. 2 books that made it on to my actual May TBR is Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is a fantasy romance, so if I'm kind of losing steam with the contemporary dark romance, I could go to a fantasy romance. So this is 1.5 in the Serpent and the Wings of Night series. It's a enemies to lovers fantasy romance with a very political backdrop. I'm reading Serpent and the Wings of Night prior to Smut Den, so I will be able to be ready for this one. And then I also put The Never King. I can't remember the author's name, Nikki St. Crow maybe? Can't remember. But I also have that book on my TBR as well, and this is a dark romance with a Peter Pan retelling backdrop. I don't really know, but this is actually a series, so if I get really invested in it, I could read the whole one. This one's definitely going to get read because I have an audiobook of this one. So this one will definitely be read during Smut Den. There is one more book in the Deal with the Demon by Katie Robert that I have not read, which is The Demon's Bargain. This one actually has Romano, who is kind of the leader of this whole gang, and so it's his romance. And Lenora made a mistake. She trusted the wrong man, and now she's actually making a deal with the demon. Hence the name of the series. This entire series would be a great fantasy romance if you're interested in Smut Den, but don't really like the darker, like contemporary romances. This would be a way for you to still get onto the dark wheel. A book that is probably a little bit too long for Smut Den, but maybe I'll be in the mood for it, is a book called Hunting Darkness by Amelia Gates and Savannah Rose, and this is a Lucifer romance. And I think it'll definitely be in the vein of the show Lucifer, but obviously more steamy. A hunter and the devil, it's not just an unlikely pair, it's an impossible one. Add his 2 henchmen to the mix and there's only one word that spells disaster. Hunting Darkness is a why choose demons and devils paranormal romance featuring your favorite demon, Lucifer, and his devilish henchmen. Oh, and of course, the queen of all strong female leads and renowned demon hunter, Melody Black. That sounds fascinating. It's 400 pages though, so I don't know that we'll be able to do it during Smut Den. We'll see. I have added a Kindle Unlimited wish list onto Amazon, and I use that more for my list of books that I'm interested in that I don't necessarily want to download right now, because you can only download 20 books at a time on KU, and so I have way more than that I'm interested in. So I will add them to this like KU wish list on Amazon, and then when I'm ready to download more, I go to that one. So I'll link that list down below. It's not all smutty stuff, it's other things, but I'm gonna give you a little peek into what I'm looking into. Another one that's a little bit longer, 300 pages, so not super long, Living in Zen, a gay daddy romance. Wine and romance and queer. So this one is poly. I want to say it's definitely male, but I don't know who the other two are. I think there's 4 people in it, and there is trans rep in here as well. A book that I think Cassidy read during the first Smut Den was A Little Slice of Hell, a male monster romance creature cafe series. It's under 100 pages. It's kind of also in the vein of like hell romance, like demons and things like that, where a barista like sets people up with their happily ever afters. I don't know. Sounds interesting. One thing that I kind of love is kitchen romances when they're done well. I either love them or hate them. But this one sounds interesting. An uptight southern chef, 2 wickedly hot investors who want to teach her to sin a little. Steamy workplace menage. MFM romance. This looks steamy, spicy. It's The Heat by Tara Crescent. Last year, I think it was last year, I read the first book in the series, which was Nemesis. It's like heroes and villains. It's like a If The Boys from Amazon Prime was a superhero romance. The second book in the series is called Alter Ego. It's Marvel if you wanted spice, essentially. Although I think that The Boys comparison is probably better than that. Essentially, like, you're finding out that superheroes are not all that they are cracked out to be, and that they are, you know, they actually leave a lot of damage in their wake. And then there is a romance with one of the villains. In the first one, it's the fiance of like the Superman type character, or like Captain America type character. Ends up leaving and like goes to the like villain, the dark side, and like starts a relationship with the bad guy. It was a lot of fun. Like, there's nothing spectacular about that book, but it was a lot of fun, so I could read the second one in that series. They are about 150 pages each, so that would be pretty short. A book that's been getting a little bit of attention lately is Pugging Around by Emily Rath. I believe it was Neva from Reading with Neva was reading this on sprints and really liked it. It's a Why Choose Hockey romance. It has trigger warnings and content warnings, so I'm assuming it will fit into the dark romance, but it has a pretty discreet cover, which is a prompt on the spinner wheel. Upon doing some research though, it is very long, so probably not a Smut Den read, but one that I'm gonna put onto my KU list for sure. Lastly, another dark romance is The Coincidence of Wildflowers by Michaela Smeltzer. This is a book that a lot of people were talking about last year. The cover is absolutely stunning. Like, I kind of want a physical book of this, but I don't know if I'm gonna love it. So I've heard very mixed things about it. This is an age gap romance, like 18 and he's 30 something, and she becomes his kid's nanny, and then, you know, an age gap romance. This is one that definitely has some like dark themes and tropes to it, so we'll see if that one happens, but it is one that I've had on my eye on for a really long time. So those are some of the books that I am interested in for 72 Hours in the Smut Den, but I'm sure that I have missed some. So let me know down in the comments below what you are reading, if you're going to be participating in Smut Den with us, and if you're not feeling chatty, do a black heart emoji. That is all I have for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.